Good evening, everyone, or good night, I might ought to really say. Let's head into Collectively Rewilding. I hope you all had wonderful days. It's just been busy, busy, busy over here for sure. And we have so many things to talk about in our upcoming classes, but that's definitely not the focus tonight. So tonight we will read the No Property, No Problem, Bloom Wherever You're Planted. And I'm really hoping that Wendy joins us because that article will be very applicable to her. And we will continue, excuse me, and that's out of the Mother Earth News, the fall cycle, right? This is the one, this is the subscription. I keep checking and checking at the supermarket and I have not found their stand publication. I'm not really sure what the differences are, but they have one that they send out every 2 or 3 months that you can get as a subscription. And then they have the newsstand variation. I think that's the correct term. And this is the subscription variation, but I always get the newsstand variation too, because it's like a special edition. It's larger and it has different types of topics and they're so wonderful. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. Excuse me. And here is the book we've been working on, Mini Farming, Self-Sufficiency on a Quarter Acre. Really great. And that's Brett L. Markham. So we'll keep working through those. And we have several new things coming up. We have a new class coming this Wednesday, and we will just jump into our calendar here so that I make sure I say it correctly. It's on the 17th, and it is How-To's Community Outreach. And I already have several lessons planned. I'm really excited about this class. It is, again, spreading myself a little bit thin, so do bear with me. I may be late a time or two or have to kind of push it around on the calendar a little bit, much like I have to with Action Plan for Your Nonprofit, which is actually hosted out of LH2, right? So these two classes, they're really pushing the list for me, but I really believe in the topics that we're going to talk about, and I'm really excited about them. So please bear with me. It will be worth it. All right. And so How-To's for Community Outreach every Wednesday, this coming Wednesday being the 1st, September 17th at 1:45 p.m. Pacific, 2:45 p.m. Mountain, 3:45 p.m. Central, and 4:45 p.m. Eastern. All right, everybody. Yes, Miss Tammy, please.
On Wednesday, that's the AI class, right? So
It is. So I may have to jump out if you guys go past that mark, right? Because you're from what? 12 o'clock noon your time to 1:30 is the actual schedule, right?
From like 12 to like 2.
Right, but that's you going over the actual listed schedule.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll have to jump out, but I do try my absolute best not to conflict with the LH2 schedule. But that one, I will have to kind of jump out of your overtime and go in and handle this, and then jump back into the LH2 schedule. So I am aware, and I know that that's a little bit unfortunate, but we're running out of slots where we can
throw these things I just want to let you know. Right? Yeah, I just didn't want to miss your class, so I just want to let you know. Like,
I know, and I'm so sorry. Maybe you guys can wrap it up, or maybe let's just take a quick peek at the LH2 calendar, okay? And see if we can't squeeze it up by 15 minutes.
Because normally
that works for Roger, right? What's that?
Normally we end like around 2.
It's only a quarter of an hour earlier than that, right? So, okay, so there's nothing before that. So if Roger's okay with it, we could go even a half an hour earlier on this one. And then that would even give some time for you to just like go do what you need to do and then come back and be ready for the Collectively Rewilding class. Does that sound like a good?
Yeah, like I don't really mind on the time, really, you know.
I just want to make sure it's okay with Roger because it's hard for him already to be ready, right? So that might be pushing it, but maybe we could at least push it back by 15 minutes so that you guys could still do your 2 full hours and you could just jump in as soon as you were able to into the CR class. Okay, so we'll check out both of those options. I am really excited about it. I do hope you can attend. Definitely, it will benefit you, even if you need to just catch up and watch like once the replay is posted, usually the same day, right? You can jump in and catch anything that you miss, but it's going to be very relevant to you. Absolutely. Okay. All right, guys. So really excited about that, but let's go ahead and stop our share and jump into our reading. Really great publications for both of these. Oh, yeah, Miss Charity has joined us. Wonderful to see you as well, my lady. These are such great reads. I'm really excited about doing both of these. And please go ahead. Did you have something to say, Miss Charity?
I just wanted to apologize for missing class, and this I couldn't go back to bed now because you'll be reading the bedtime story. No, just kidding. But
okay,
I'm sorry.
We'll definitely happily supply that, but don't worry.
Yeah.
Christy and I are well aware. I do appreciate you being aware enough of yourself to recognize what day it is and everything, but I am not in any way upset. Miss Tammy was able to cover for you.
Yeah,
and so we're all good to go. Okay?
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Please don't stress, my lady. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, babe. All right, guys. So let's dive into Mother Earth news. No property, no problem. Hey. All right. Again, this is the fall publication, issue number 331, their 331st episode of their subscription magazine, I would think, right? And so no property, no problem is going to be on what page, because it's not seeming to be listed here. Do I have to read into the descriptions of the articles to find it? That's a little rough, right? Problem. Okay, I'm really confused. It's just not even listed in any way. Country lore, maybe? Let's try country lore and see if it's there. Well, I mean, that's a really cute little piece. That would definitely be worth reading if we can find the article that we were intending to jump into there. Interesting. I'm very disappointed in this situation, but I have read through the whole list 3 times. And I've read this thing. So I'm just not finding what they are talking about. I'll have to look through it after class, but for now, we'll go ahead and read 10 tips for starting your urban homestead, no acreage required. And I guess maybe this could be the article, but that's really kind of misleading. And it's not even exactly an article, it's readers' tips to live by in their country lore. So it's more like a blog within the magazine or a reader write-in, something like that. Anyway, it looks interesting. 10 tips for starting your urban homestead, no acreage required. Homesteading doesn't, excuse me, guys, allergies. I'm feeling so much better, but those allergies are awful. Yes, please, Miss Tammy.
You're not sharing anything. I'm not sure if you're.
No, this is all about the audio, right? So
I wasn't sure.
Yep, it's a new format, and I completely understand. It also makes it a lot easier for me to actually hold the book and read and not be worried about the video, as well as trying to keep track of what I'm doing with my reading. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I just wasn't sure if we had to see the screen thing. So yeah, you're good.
No, it's great because I almost walked you guys through it. So that means I probably should have walked you through it. All right. So 10 tips for starting your urban homestead, no acreage required. Homesteading doesn't have to mean 10 acres and a tractor. Oh gosh, I just don't like tractors at all. In today's world where buying land can feel out of reach and digital life is louder than ever, turning your city space into a tiny homestead isn't only possible, it's powerful. Whether you're working with a backyard, a balcony, or a community garden, urban homesteading helps you reconnect with what matters: your food, your neighbors, and the natural rhythm of things. It's nourishing, grounding, and doable, even in the city. Here's how to get started. 1. Grow food anywhere. From raised beds and planter boxes to windowsills and rooftops, there's always room to grow something. Interjection, as Benny's doing with his, not Benny, Kendez is doing with his cucumbers, there's also the option to grow from a slanted trellis type situation, right? Even at the city level, they've done this outside of the country at a substantial level, actually. Leafy greens, herbs, tomatoes, and even dwarf fruit trees can thrive in containers. Don't underestimate the productivity of a well-planned small space. One cherry tomato plant on a balcony can yield pounds of fruit over a season. 2. Think beyond gardening. Homesteading is about self-reliance. Learn to bake bread. Ferment veggies. There you go, Tammy. I mean, technically, even baking bread is a form of, or a part of the process of preserving your foods, right? You have to know how to preserve the grains to then process the grains, grind them, and then continue. It's all a part of processing, right? And so when we talk about processed foods, we generally mean some very highly processed foods. But unless you are literally picking that piece of fruit or a vegetable, rinsing it or not if it's out in your own garden, right, and popping it into your mouth, you are processing it in some way. If you dry it by the sun, right, that's going to be one of my big things in preserving food, my main focus, actually, and that is processing. So just be aware when you're using your words, what they actually mean, both in a cultural context and in a literal context. Excuse me, guys, again. Okay. Learn to bake bread, ferment veggies, make cleaners, or teach yourself to repair things. These everyday skills build confidence and reduce dependence on store-bought goods. Even something as simple as making your own broth from kitchen scraps will help close the loop and stretch your groceries further. Absolutely, guys. We've done that a multitude of times. And if we weren't so busy, we would do more of it now. But most of the veggie scraps end up out in the compost heap right now. Another thing that you can save for making broth, of course, is for bone broth, not just your onions and the tops of the leeks that my daughter just made a potato leek and bacon. I don't know, it was a weird consistency, not quite a soup or a stew, not quite a chowder, but some variation therein. And it was really, really good, but we cut the leek tops off and threw them in the compost heap. Those are excellent additions, as are a whole carcass. If you ever get chicken soup and you use the whole chicken, right? Or your turkey carcass when you have Thanksgiving, you can actually put that into a cheesecloth bag if you're really worried about bone fragments, and put it right into the pot and cook out the nutrients from those bones. That's what bone broth is. And then you can add the veggies if you'd like. It definitely doesn't detract from it. It adds to it, or you don't have to. And you can also alternatively cook it outside of a cheesecloth bag and let the scraps of meat become a part of it, depending on how deep you want to go, right? All right, and Misty Folds is an excellent source of knowledge on that if you're ever having additional curiosity questions, because they do that constantly. That is a regular practice in their lifestyle. So really, really great resource there. A little bit beyond the community here, but part of our LH2 community, right? Okay, number 3, use your space wisely. Got a patch of grass? Plant veggies. A shady corner? Grow mushrooms. Depends still on how hot it gets and what season it is, right? A sunny wall? Go vertical. Urban spaces often inspire the most creative growing methods. Install a rain barrel and reuse gray water on your beds. Be sure to save seeds. These choices will help you conserve resources and make the most of your space, no matter how small. Number 4, preserve the harvest. Canning, pickling, fermenting, and freezing will help you stretch food through the season. Market produce becomes more valuable when you know how to preserve it. I don't think that market produce myself is actually worth taking the additional measures for, unless it's just a really good deal and you don't have any other way. You lose so much flavor by buying it at the commercial grocery stores, even the mom and pop grocery stores. To make the finest point of it, we have a really great grocery store here, Macy's. You'd think it's the department store, Macy's, but this is Macy's with an E, Macey apostrophe S, and it's a grocery store. They offer heirloom tomatoes, but they're not as good as actual heirloom tomatoes that you can get from your farmer's market or your own garden, right? They have a distinctly lessened amount of flavor. They do last longer. That's the whole point, though. I had thought that they were buying them from local market and the local farmers and things. I talked to one of their produce managers, and they don't. These are actually heirloom varieties that are grown in their produce fields, whatever that looks like for their company, and then they're able to be shipped and sent through their normal channels. So that's kind of taking away from the whole idea of being heirloom, right? And so, again, this is Miss Tammy's area. It says, start simple with refrigerator pickles or frozen herbs and expand as your confidence grows. You know, that's a really good thought for you, Miss Tammy. What do you think about hearing that?
I'm thinking about recipes.
Right? So you're already like, okay, so this is something I can readily start with, right? So that's a good thing for you to begin with. And it absolutely does fit. So you just posted an amazing article about it, didn't you? Okay, so I'm going to break our little somewhat rule and just jump into Collectively Rewilding, because whatever the post was, it is an amazing post. So let me jump into my bookmarks because it's one that I saved, and that'll be the quickest route. And I can tell you, yes, that's what I thought. Okay, so dehydrating herbs. With each different listed herb in this picture here. So you have parsley, oregano, marjoram, rosemary, cilantro, bay leaf, dill, basil, celery, tarragon, sage, arugula, thyme, green onions, and mint. I mean, they're taking it far, right? Because arugula is a salad green in my household. And so that is just some amazing knowledge here, you guys. Definitely take advantage of this. Okay, that's interesting. They don't actually have arugula specifically mentioned. When I go through here, I'm going to have to find out if they actually have it in one of these listed things that Tammy's found here for us. But cute little picture, and those are all going to be from thepurposefulpantry.com. Thepurposefulpantry.com for those who are listening and not watching. Really great article that Miss Tammy has for us in Collectively Rewilding. All right, and so I love that. I do. I think that's just an amazing. I'm going to read it again. Start simple with refrigerator pickles or frozen herbs and expand as your confidence grows. My husband does refrigerator pickles all the time. He loves it. He actually takes the remnants of one of the hot cauliflower or hot mixed veggies that I get for him, and when he's finished that, he takes the brine of that and adds it to the entire mix, right? I think he adds some additional vinegar. I'm not certain, and he's already gone to bed, so I can't bug him for an answer, but he adds his own seasonings to it and things, and he does that all the time. And I love to dry flowers and herbs. So those are the areas that I've really been able to explore. I've been around canning, but I've never gotten to do it. And I have frozen some things. That's not true. I have also frozen some things. Frozen veggies and fruits take a lot of dedication, just like canning, right? And so will dehydrating when I take it out and I'm cutting it up so that it can be done in the sun, right? With fire from our fire pit. And I will actually put some netting around it, right? Not something that our tribal ancestors had access to, but a benefit of the age. That's the whole point of Collectively Rewilding, mixing of ancient and more modern thought processes with that in between overall thought process of traditional gardening as we've known it for literally centuries and millennia. The bare earth row gardening that more and more we're moving away from, even in what we now consider traditional gardening, right? Okay. 5, compost your scraps. Even those living in apartments can compost. Try worm bins, bokashi systems, or drop-off programs. Typically, with a drop-off program in the city, you should be receiving some compost back, unless it's something that you're donating to the city or something like that, right? Composting builds soil and supports your garden. It also reduces food waste and can eliminate the need for synthetic fertilizers. 6, support local food. Join a community-supported agriculture or CSA program, right? We've talked about that. There's one of those here that a farmer puts out, and if you are able to opt in for the season, you pay for the whole season, and you get a box every week or every other week, depending on what you pick. Also, shop farmers markets or trade with neighbors. Homesteading is community-based. Knowing your food producers will create deeper roots and keep your dollars circulating locally. 7, raise small creatures and critters. Chickens, quail, and bees are legal in many cities. They provide fresh eggs, pollination, and fertilizer. No space for animals? Worms count too. They'll turn your scraps into rich compost. You can use water from your fish tank to fertilize container gardens. It's full of nutrients plants love and is a great natural alternative to store-bought fertilizer. That's the best argument I've ever heard for having a fish tank yet. Oh my gosh, I do not do well with fish tanks. Contained creatures, right? I don't do that. Contained plants are my nemesis, and fish tanks. Just don't give me responsibility of a fish tank. Please, I will do my best, and it still will not be a pretty picture. 8, slow down and observe. Homesteading teaches you to tune into the natural world. Track the sun. Watch the seasons change. Pay attention to how your plants respond to different inputs. This attention will help you unplug from the fast-paced digital world. I cannot agree more, you guys. I love it. It takes me out of it. Sometimes I will take my phone with me. I tend to talk to Ethel sometimes when I'm working in the garden, but I feel like that's community because I'm so busy. I don't even get to talk to people very often to just talk to them. And so I take my community on a phone with me into the garden, right? 9, homestead with others. Join a group, host a food swap, or share seeds. Community makes the journey richer and more sustainable. You'll learn faster, trade resources, and maybe even build lifelong friendships rooted in shared purpose. 10, let it be ritual. Homesteading isn't about perfection. It's about presence. Tend a pot of herbs, stir a bubbling jar of kraut, or hang laundry in the sun. These small grounding acts offer peace and purpose in a noisy world. When life feels overwhelming, returning to a simple task can reset your nervous system and remind you that you're part of something bigger. Jordan from California. Very cool. Let's see where we're at time-wise. Yes. There's a hand, but I don't see it over on my screen. That's so weird. Does anybody have their hand up?
Charity Spencer has a question.
Okie dokie. What is that, Miss Charity?
Well, I've been a vegetarian my whole life. So I was just saying that Misty would probably be the one to talk to about making vegetable broth.
Absolutely. She could definitely give you some real tips and pointers. We've done it, and I definitely am comfortable doing it, but she does it as a part of her life, right?
Okay.
They've been doing it for years. So really an amazing resource for you guys to tap if you're interested.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
It's really easy. So just to give you the idea again, if you use onions, but you don't quite finish it, don't let it go bad.
Right.
Put it into a Ziploc bag and then, one of the freezer Ziploc bags, small one, throw it into your freezer. Then put that inside like a gallon Ziploc bag, and you'll have a bag you can keep all of your little collections of not wasted now veggies.
Right. Okay.
When you get enough of what you want in there, you can have more than one bag going if you use different things like ginger, right? Ginger doesn't necessarily go with everything, whereas onions almost do, right?
Right. My
So
mom is a big cook.
specialty one, and a general one.
Yes.
And you just keep those in there until you have your little collection. And then you just put it right into water, or you can start with a vegetable broth from the store. You know, you want to make sure it's actual vegetable broth.
Right.
You know, those stories. I'm sure you're well prepared in that arena, but you could do either or, right?
Okay.
And then just season it to your own taste. And there you go. And then you can freeze it afterwards. You don't even have to can it. You can freeze it.
That is very cool. My mom would probably make an amazing vegetable broth. I'm not the cook. She is the cook, and she's the gardener too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think she's watching the Vikings game at my uncle's right now. But
okay.
Yeah,
well,
I told her.
Tell her that she should jump into Collectively Rewilding if that sounds like something that she would enjoy and you would enjoy sharing with her.
Right. I thought that might be a good, like, family thing to do, and that's less stressful.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah. So thank you. I'm
Of
gonna
course.
let her know.
It's free for anyone, Charity, not just for our community. The whole world can join for free. Oh my goodness, you guys, let me mute myself for just Okay. It's also because I'm quitting smoking cigarettes and I'm doing all these different things, right? So it's bringing this junk that I can get rid of. So
yeah, that's rough. I quit 5 days for 5 days. It sounded like a frog or something because I went from 3 to 3.5 packs of full flavored menthols to did nothing. I came back with in 5 days. So I had a lot of stuff in there. I didn't sound right. It sounded funny, but it does. It's amazing how clear and how fast it can come and smell and all of that. So congratulations and keep up the good work.
I hope you'll join us, right? Because vaping, yuck as well, right?
Especially these disposable vapes where you don't know where the juice is coming from.
And then it's a wasteful product, right? So are some of the puffy airs. They're kind of wasteful too. But I'm thinking like, okay, so it says 600 uses. I think my husband actually probably does get 600 uses because you're only supposed to take like a small puff. And I'm like, I'm a yogi, and I'm like, I have been a medicinal marijuana user for a very long time, and so I take deep breaths, and that's like a part of the habit for me.
Right.
So I'm struggling with that, right? And so I don't think I get 600 uses, but for him, 600 uses, you've got to figure that maybe 15 puffs on a cigarette. So if you have 600, you would be about 450, I think, 450 actual cigarettes that are replaced. So think about how many less cigarettes that is in the landfill, right? And then for me, maybe 300 less, or maybe he's more towards the 600 and I'm more towards the 450. I think that's what I decided it probably was.
Yeah, but I think with the disposable ones, I believe a lot of them are filled in another country, with their liquid.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the puffy air. Let's just check that out, right?
Oh,
so let's see. Where is puffy air made? That works for me.
Yeah, I used to have a friend,
right?
Yeah, right. I used to have a friend that made.
Oh wait, no, I apologize.
Whoa.
The origin can vary. Some listings indicate the product is made in the USA, while others specify China or that it was imported from the USA.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I've seen a lot of stuff about China, like YouTube videos or something, and it just tastes so different to me than when I had a friend that, made it from, he made the juice.
Right.
And it just tastes very different on the lungs and throat. It's bizarre. So I got
yeah, but that's why it was. I tried vaping when it was kind of the brand new thing that you could go and do legally, and my husband and we didn't like it. We quit right away. It put water on our lungs. We did not like it.
Oh, okay, interesting. He used a different style too than that's normal. Yeah, but that, like I've seen so many people quit. And I used to like sell them, but not really sell them. I kind of gave them that away. I would buy.
Yeah, you're probably not. That's not probably what you should invest in, because
no.
Knowing you, Charity, that would not be a good investment.
No, it wasn't. It
was like me doing oils, right? Like I had a friend that tried to convince me to do the whole doTERRA thing, and I love her to death. She's great. She's still doing it, but I don't like to sell to people. So I wanted to learn about it. I got the oils that her pushing, and then I just ended up giving it away. So that's why I was like, this is not something that I can do as a living, you know?
That's funny. Yes, I sure do. I've joined level marketing, you know, the I can't talk today.
MLA, yeah.
Yes, which is a pyramid scheme.
Essentially, I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, a few of them, prepaid
Yeah.
legal lawyers, all sorts of stuff. So, and I don't tell to people. I didn't even upgrade people's drink or try to upsell them, you know. So as a waitress.
Now I can do that, right? Like if the customer at a restaurant that I was working at, they ordered something and it went naturally, or they felt like they were just in the mood to order something, I can do that because they've already come. And it goes along with the permission marketing book that I'm reading, right?
Oh, okay.
And so they gave you permission to try to sell something to them. They came into the restaurant.
Oh, so, that makes sense.
Right? And so that's really helpful to me being in Julia May's community, Quinn B, right? There's really no need to shorten that one. LH2, that's only one syllable less too, but it's actually a lot less to type. And of course, collectively rewilding is the opposite end of that spectrum. Lots of syllables. So CR is both much easier to type and to say. But with Quinn B, there's so much value there in moving into a comfort level with whatever part of hosting that you're doing. And yes, marketing your community is a part of that, which is so hard for me. And permission marketing, like just the name even to me is like so welcoming and inviting compared to what we're used to from marketing.
Right. I don't like,
And so that's the kind of marketing that we'll employ as collectively rewilding is permission marketing. And we're going to actually start with our email list here in our community because we have 160 plus members now. We're just barely 161, I think. So maybe 162. Yay, wonderful. And we only have our core group, which is still great. That's still around 15%. That's actually really high for communities. But we know how active communities can be from being in Lesko Help too, right? Yes. And that's where we want to move this whole community towards, is being as active as what Lesko Help 2 is, and even more so in a way because the tasks over there, they can be done, as we all well know, but they're hard and they're complicated and they're confusing and it's overwhelming. And yes, absolutely, gardening and fermenting and canning, they can be overwhelming and confusing as well. But we are having step-by-step guides that we're setting up right now here. And then my interaction with gardenary.com, where I signed up for their courses, that's going to take all of that further as well. And so I'll share all of that with you guys as we go. We're not going to watch her videos or whatever. This is a part of her income and it's beautifully set up. And I really believe that she deserves that. But I'm going to walk you through what I'm learning and how we're going to use it and how I'm using it. And we'll talk about that a lot in our new class, right?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, those how-tos for community outreach. That is going to be the kind of thing that we'll talk about there, because that's me building a business physically on the ground, not just here in our community online, right?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Absolute community outreach. And so that will be the majority of our content, but that'll be part of it. That's going to be every Wednesday. And we're going to work with Roger to see if we can't get it so that it's right after they go an overflow a half hour, right? They're scheduled for an hour and a half, but they tend to run an additional half an hour. So I'm running out of slots where I can plug in a new class for us and collectively rewilding without infringing on Lesko Help's calendar. And so I may have to just kind of cut it off if Roger can't come any earlier, just those 15 minutes of their overflow, right? Last 15 minutes. That's not really like to participate, and she's going to benefit a lot from those classes. So we're going to hopefully work with Roger and get him lowered down by 15 to 30 minutes. That'll be rough for him. So we'll see. No pressure. No judgment, Roger, right? But hopefully he can lower that down so that Tammy will be able to join us from the beginning. And I have so many things already planned, and I hadn't really thought about where I would talk to you guys specifically about the gardenary material, but it really does fit so perfectly with our new class. And it teaches you guys how you could go beyond your online interactions with folks and do things in your community as well whether or not you wanted to do anything with gardening consulting. There's so much value to what Nicole Burke has put in to this course. I'm just overwhelmed by it. She's offering a marketing course, a financial course, the gardening consulting course, and it's all in this $3,000 package. So, I mean, it's a tremendous value. It's a big investment for most of us, but it's a tremendous value, and it's well worth double, triple what she's charging. So I'm really appreciative. You know, it's going to be a really great journey, and you guys will get to have such a big part in it with me, right?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully, you know, we'll be able to work together to do that. And so we are kind of running out of time.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, it was a great discussion, and that let everybody know where we're going. So let's just, instead of reading from the Mini Farming Self-Sufficiency on a Quarter Acre, we're going to read this little bit right here called Grow Your Own Flax by Lisa out of Alberta, Canada. And I love flax flowers. They're so beautiful, you guys. They have 5 small, not tiny, but small petals. They're very basic flowers. They're a lot like cornflower or bachelor's button sort of blue, right? And they are actually what linen is made out of. Is that not so neat? So flax is a wonderful floral addition to the garden. When planted en masse, the delicate small blooms add a touch of whimsy to any garden space. I absolutely agree. They're so cute and beautiful at the same time, serving as a beautiful filler between rows and attracting pollinators and other beneficial insects. Once blooming is complete, small but densely packed seed heads appear. Once the seed heads have dried, they're ready to be collected from the plants and saved for next year's garden. Save the full seed heads in a jar or a paper bag instead of winnowing the seeds, saving you precious time, right? So things like lettuces, and I believe broccoli can does, if you try to collect any seeds off of your broccoli, you want to put the flower heads that have become the seed heads into a paper bag and then kind of turn it upside down, not worrying about the plant too much, and just shaking those seeds into that paper bag. They're so small, it's difficult to actually contain them any other way. And so she's recommending that for the flax seeds as well. Now I'm going to share again, but we're just going to read, right? This is all a process that we're just working out together. And so I don't want to lead you guys astray. And I want to just check. How would you say it? The plant linen. Plant linen. Here, right? And yes, and let's see if we get a little AI overview. Oh, that's what we just read. Grow flax for, oh no, this is a different Mother Earth News article. Oh, how wonderful. Let's just pull this up. This is from March 3rd, 2017. Again, out of Mother Earth News. Grow flax for linen in your garden. Growing flax to process into linen was a common activity on homesteads before the Industrial Revolution. In fact, a quarter acre per person might have been planted to take care of clothing and other textile needs for the year. When choosing a variety of flax to plant for linen, make sure the botanical name is Linen usitaceum. It's pretty close, I think, guys. The variety I've found to be available is Maryland. Interesting. So the botanical name needs to be Linum usitaticum. There we go, usitaticum. The variety I've found to be available is Maryland. Interesting. So a strain of the specific type of flax would be my guess at what they're meaning there. If you are just starting out and don't know if you really want to get into this yet, you can get enough material to work with from just a small space in your garden. In that case, you may want to buy seed by the packet if it's available. It almost always is. If you want to have enough to really play with, plant a pound of seeds. I bought seed through the Heirloom Seed Project at the Landis Valley Village and Farm Museum in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I've definitely heard of the Heirloom Seed Project, but I wasn't sure where it was located, so that's really interesting. Their 1 pound package of seeds indicates it is enough to plant 400 square feet. My main source of information about growing flax to linen has been the book Linen, From Flax Seed to Woven Cloth by Linda Heinrich. That book suggests that 1 pound of seed is enough to plant 300 square feet. The time to plant is in the early spring, about the time you plant peas. Flax wants to get its start in the cool weather and will be ready to harvest in about 90 to 100 days. You will need to plant it in a sunny spot and provide an even distribution of moisture throughout its growing season if you do not have regular rainfall. Whether you plant the seeds in rows or broadcast them, the seeds need to be close together so the stalks will grow straight with no branching. You will get more and better fiber from thin stalks than from fat ones. Interesting, right? Because that's contrary to what we talked about with Miss Tammy in another class about getting the sunlight on the plants so that they didn't have the long, leggy stems. But apparently for flax planted for fiber, that long, stringy element where they're vying for each other to get the sunlight is a benefit. All right, attention needs to be given to keep flax weeded, especially when it is young. Find more details about planting flax at Home Place Earth. When it gets closer to harvest time, I will be posting again with what to do next. Although there are many steps in the journey to linen, other than harvesting at the right time, those steps can be done at your leisure. The flax straw will have to be retted, which is soaking it in water, or, my favorite, laying in the grass and letting the dew take care of it. The fiber will be separated from the straw when you break it. Then it is further cleaned by scutching and hackling. All new words to me, guys. It sounds daunting, but once you understand it and have worked with it, it is not so intimidating. And so they have continue reading. I'm guessing that that would be the next article about what to do with it once it's harvested. So I will post this for you all in case you're interested in it. And that seems like a really appropriate one for member meetups because it's taking that garden produce of whatever sort and preserving it and utilizing it in some way, right? So excellent. And another Mother Earth News, which I just love supporting Mother Earth News. I think they're just a fantastic publication. Excuse me again. Oh my goodness. Grow flax or linen in your garden. How fun. Mother Earth News. All right. Very great. All right, guys. Any other questions before we jump into our calendar for the next upcoming class?
So did everybody vote for like the chat?
Oh, thank you, Tammy. That's such a good question. Let's see. That will be in our featured section, our main featured section. So if we just head to what's new today, you'll see right here, it's official. We need your help. Our new community chat space needs the perfect name, and we've got some great options. So go ahead and come in. We've only had 3 votes so far, Miss Tammy and I, and a lady by the name of Karen, who we haven't had the opportunity to interact with. So that was really exciting to see. That's the kind of engagement I'm hoping that all of this activity that I'm creating for our entertainment and for our engagement and for our education in all of these different types of pursuits from Miss Julia's content course, right? So many different things I'm learning over there, but her content course, content strategy is what it's actually called. And it is just that. And it is getting us so much further along in a way that will be valuable to all of us. Right? So thank you, Miss Tammy. This was actually her idea. She wanted a community chat back. So come in and vote for your favorite idea for the title for the chat: Common Ground, Community Corner, Campfire Circle, or Village Green. Other, have a different suggestion, add it in the comments below. Some really great ideas, and I hope that you find a good one, whether it's one of those or one of your own suggestions. Anything else at all? All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with me and enjoying those articles. They really are great. We're pretty well done with this publication, unless not the overall publication, of course, just this particular oh goodness, in my brain, issue. We don't use these words very often, right? We don't work with paper materials all that often anymore. And this is also another way that I'd like to bring a lot of that back. Of course, we'll read things off of the internet as well. And then those who are watching the video will be able to follow along, but we'll read it out loud without really any interaction that would take away from your ability to just listen, right? And so this is all an evolving process. I'm really excited about it. I'm also really excited about our new class this Wednesday. In fact, before we go over our full new, or for our next upcoming class, let's just cover again, the how-tos for community outreach is going to be this coming Wednesday, the 17th, and all following Wednesdays at 1:45 p.m. Pacific, 2:45 p.m. Mountain, 3:45 p.m. Central, and 4:45 p.m. Eastern. And if I'm not mistaken, I've already added our next new class as well. And no, I haven't. So we should definitely talk about that at our actual next class, which is tomorrow for our Exploring Organic Soil Regeneration. And that is going to be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 Mountain, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Eastern. And we will definitely talk about getting something set up for our circle of ceasing nasty habits, right? It really doesn't matter what that nasty habit is that you're wanting to work on quitting. Let's do this because we're taking our health, we're taking our money, we're taking our youth, we're taking resources from the planet and wasting our time. So all of these things can be gained back in our lives. Let's do that together, whatever habit you need to break. And let's talk about that at Monday's class so that we can figure out how we want to do that. If we want a new space, if we just want to have an event for it, you know, what we think will be the most supportive, maybe even 10 or 15 minute check-in a couple of times a week and just do something really small and more regular, more consistent, maybe a 5 or 10 minute check-in even, right? Once every other day or something like that, just to all get together and say, we're doing this. Here's what I did today that took me further on my goal, right? And for those of you who are better at it, you know, of course, you can stick around if you're already done and keep cheering us on, but that'll be the goal, right? Getting out of our bad habits. So we need to figure out what we want that to look like, and we will talk about that tomorrow. All right, you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please feel free to unmute yourselves and say goodnight, everyone.
Good night. Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Bon voyage.
And Vanessa. And
Good
Sabrina.
Good night, everybody. Enjoy your evening.
night, Candace. Good night,
Thank you, guys.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.